I am still a No Man's Sky newbie, but I have some tips for new players if you are also like me getting into the game that helped me get through what was a rough beginning for me. So this video is going to go over 3 things I found that really helped me get through or understand No Man's Sky. So new players like me, this is for you. If you are a returning veteran, first I want to say thank you so much for all of your comments, because honestly your comments are what have kept me being able to progress. They've given me hope that No Man's Sky is in fact the game I think it is. So if you're a returning veteran, let me know how I'm doing. All right, so number 1 is that when you are first plopped down into No Man's Sky, you are given a tutorial. And I thought, because I come from games like Grounded where technology is locked behind story progress in some cases. So I figured that I would have to actually complete these tutorial missions in order to get the technology I wanted. It felt very on the rails, and it was not at all. Uh-oh, hold on. Please wait while I almost crash. It was not at all what I thought the game was going to be. I really wanted to just get out and sandbox it, but I felt very constrained by the tutorial. So my takeaway here is that you don't have to do the tutorial at all. You can go straight into space exploration. You can treat the game as the sandbox that it is and still be able to... Oh, hey, look at this thing. What's this? As interesting as what that is. Okay. Anyway, you can go straight into space exploration. And that is what I was really hoping the game would be, is just getting into exploration and figuring things out myself. I love figuring things out myself in games, especially ones that I thought were a sandbox. So I do think the beginning of the game does serve a purpose. It teaches you, obviously, how the game works, but I also think it does the game a huge disservice because it completely ignores the best part of the game, which is figuring things out yourself, exploring, having unexpected experiences, and that was really what I was wanting out of the game, was that feeling of me being a traveler on all of these crazy new worlds. Oh wait, here we have another buried technology module. All I'm doing right now is just clearing some stuff from this planet. I'm working on building a space ranch. And so this is me working towards that as I talk about my newbie experiences in No Man's Sky. So yes, anyway, takeaway number 1, you can go off the rails. You do not have to do the tutorial missions. Nothing is really locked behind the tutorial. I think following the story is worth it after you've gotten all of that sandboxy stuff out of your system, and then you can go back once you have more of a handle on things. And this is kind of a cool plant. It just gives carbon. But anyway, then, you can go and do your own... Wait, does this mean it's aggressive? Is this what this means? It's running towards me, so I think it's aggressive. We're just going to go ahead and... What does this mean? Distract with bait? There, I distracted it with bait. That's the first time I've ever done that. Yeah, so see, this is what I mean. I have not completed the tutorial or missions or any of that. I did some of them, but I'm able to just free roam it, and that's what I'm really enjoying. Uh-oh, hazardous flora detected. We're fine. So if you are having a hard time getting into the beginning of the game like I did, because it presents you with a bunch of grindy missions to begin with, just know you do not have to partake. You can just go and do what you want. You can search the galaxies for planets you like. You can still find space stations and anomalies while you are out. You will still encounter all of the content that there is to encounter without having to sit through those tutorial missions. Okay, time for takeaway number 2. And that is that the game does a great job at bringing interesting things to you. So I decided that I had enough of the tutorial, and I just started jumping around solar systems, and eventually I ran into... an event. Oh my gosh, okay, so these, oh no, there's another one, and this one has like, oh man, hostile. Okay, so hold on a minute. I have a new, yes, bolt caster. Here we go. Oh, that was easy. Okay, so hold on a second while I empty my inventory. That was my first time using my bolt caster. I got a new multi-tool, which was really cool, which I also got just from going out and doing my own thing, not staying on the rails of the missions or anything. Let me just load up my inventory here. So this is what I mean is no matter what you're doing, the game is really good. Now, can I do anything with this? Let me switch back to my mining beam. Can I mine the corpse? I don't think I can. Okay, well, that's that. But anyway, the game is really good at bringing events to you. No Man's Sky, if you're new like me, you may not know, but there's such a broad range of things that you can do in the game. And the cool thing is you don't have to go out looking for them a lot of the times. They will oftentimes come to you. So like pirates, space pirates, sentinels, just as you saw, the hostile creature, it seems like No Man's Sky can happen to you rather than you having to go out in search of it. Okay, so I still don't have Atlas Pass that I need for that. But let's see, what did I get here? Condensed carbon, and then this is projectile ammunition. What was that? Life support gel. Okay, cool. And since this is a focus on new players getting into things, you don't have to really worry about what kind of gear you have. You can do everything that the game has to offer without going through, as I said, all of the tutorials that will help you figure out how to upgrade things. But I'm still in all of my starter gear and have my starter, well, almost all starter gear, and I have my starter starship. And I'm able to fight space pirates. I'm able to defend freighters, attack freighters, take care of sentinels if I need to. As you saw, I just bopped a hostile creature. That was my first time coming across a hostile creature. So the game hasn't given me, hasn't put me in a situation where I feel like I can't deal with it. I have been able to deal with every situation the game has put me in, which is awesome because I don't feel like I'm lacking. I don't feel like I have to go back and grind. I can just explore and get into the game, which is exactly what I'm trying to do on this planet, is just travel around and find things of interest to me. What I'm doing now is looking for this knowledge stone, which helps me learn the language of all of the different life forms. So we're doing that. Oops. And running into all of the hazardous fauna and flora and aggressive creatures. Ooh, and appropriately enough, we just learned the Viking word for death. So that's fantastic. Let's see, what can we do? There's another one over here, so we'll mark that with E. So that is takeaway number 2, is that if you are just stuck on your starter planet and you feel like there's nothing interesting going on, nothing is catching your attention, I suggest you just literally run around, explore, or better yet, hop in your starship and just start hopping systems. Now, number 3 is related to just hopping in your starship and exploring galaxies and systems and jumping through black holes and all that fun stuff, because once you start getting into space travel, you will notice that you need copious amounts of fuel. Everything needs fuel, power, whatever. I decided that I didn't like that because my gameplay goal is to build a space ranch, and in order to do that, I want to find my perfect planet, which, as you can imagine, means I need to jump through a lot of star systems and even through black holes to get me into new galaxies. And that required a lot of fuel, and I just wasn't having fun grinding for it. The good news is No Man's Sky lets you change everything. So like, let me make sure I'm safe here, and then I will show you my settings. So right now, let's see, difficulty. I have all of the survival elements on because I like survival. Let's see, natural resources, sprinting, standard, standard damage levels, standard. Fuel usage, here we go, fuel usage free. I decided to turn off my fuel usage because I was finding that I was spending all of my time grinding for fuel, and it just like wasn't satisfying to me. I think to me the game would be a slog if I had to keep up with fuel, and that's the amazing thing about No Man's Sky is you can play the game however you want. So fuel usage I have set to free, crafting I have set to standard, and let's see, what else do I have? I have on foot combat I have it set to none, which is interesting that hostile creatures... Oh, well, I could turn off the hostile creatures if I want, but I really didn't mind that. The reason I have on-foot combat turned to none is because I have been hitting planets that are full of these things called sentinels, and they're really annoying. They're not, like, necessarily fun combat to me, they're just annoying. Whereas I find the idea of hostile creatures more interesting because they're living life forms, whereas sentinels are just these robots that you shoot with your laser, and I don't know. Not the most satisfying combat in the world to me, so I decided to turn it off. Fuel, not the most satisfying thing to me, so I decided to turn it off. And I'm just finding with No Man's Sky that it is such a vibe that it lets you play how you want, it lets you interact with what you want, turn off what you don't want to interact with. It is such a smart game design, and I am loving it. So that is takeaway number 3. The way you can play the game varies so much depending on what settings you have turned on. What is this? Jettison pod. So definitely go into your settings. Did I already do this? Yes, okay. So definitely go into your settings and play with them and figure out what is the best way that you like to play the game rather than trying to just stick it out. See, I like hardcore survival games, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stick it out the way the developers intended that I play the game, and that was my biggest mistake. There's no shame in turning the settings down or altering the settings because this is not a competitive PvP game. No one's competing to be the best. People just want to have a cool experience, and that is absolutely what No Man's Sky has turned into for me, is a vibe, a cool experience, and I just want to keep going because there is so much that you can do. So those are my, let's see, this one is 396, this one is 384. I need more buried technology modules, so we're going to go to that. So those are my 3 key takeaways from playing a couple dozen hours of the game as a new player. I hope if you are a new player that my takeaways will help you get into the game a little bit easier because, as I said, I really struggled. Oh no, here we go. Here we go again with the hostile creatures. Can I feed it a pellet and run? Let's feed it a pellet and run. There we go. Running! But yeah, so I did have a really rough time getting into the game. My very first video of No Man's Sky was saying, like, I cannot get into No Man's Sky because I was trying to play it, I don't want to say wrong because there really isn't a wrong way. There is a wrong way for each person. And of course, because there is a wrong, there must be a right way. So it just took me reading the wonderful comments that I got from everybody. So thank you again to everybody who left me comments. What is this? Area discovered. Okay, so I've discovered an area. I don't know what that means, but I've done it. But yeah, so anyway, thank you again for everybody who left me comments that helped me actually get into the game rather than just putting it down. If you are struggling, do give the game a chance. Don't just put it down like I almost did because you think it's not the game for you. I think there's a way to play the game that will suit everyone, to be honest, which is pretty cool. What outpost is this talking about, by the way? I see a resource thingy. That's fine. I don't need to get into that right now. All right, so, there's a lot over here. So those are my 3 takeaways. As I said, new players, I hope it helps you. If you are a veteran returning and listening to my rambles, how am I doing? Do I have it? Do I have the vibe? Am I getting what the game, am I picking up what the game is dropping down? Ooh, that looks nasty. And as always, if you have any tips or hints for me in the comments section, I would love for you to let me know. So yeah, that was my short but sweet video today. I'm going to keep exploring this planet. The goal is to find my ultimate planet that I would like to have a space ranch on. So that's the goal. I will put some space related videos here. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.